fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We're going to play Cash Flow. Chose a Dream of Gift of Faith. Nurse. Here's the rest of the stats. Let's get this game in action. It is November 22nd, 2016, 11:46 a.m. Donate. Remember, one of the first things we look at, or at least I look at, is $1,000 here. It's a $50 expense. Do I want to bump that up? Here's our expenses. So if we pay off this $1,000, we will reduce this by $50, which will increase this by $50. And that might be something that we might possibly do in the future. We'll see how the game goes. Besides that small one, normally I don't really pay off too much of the other ones. $3,000, $90. It just seems like sometimes funds can be used better somewhere else. But this is a wonderful way to start the game. No money down, 3 2-bedroom, giving $100 a month. Remember, as we spoke before, once these 3 slots are filled up, the 4th, the 5th, all these other ones, we won't be able to sell those ones, the 4th and lower, until we sell these 3. So it's good to have like 3-2 houses and condos and things that come up often in the market cards and give us the ability to sell them. The other thing is that we're not going to worry too much about start a part-time company. We're going to pass on this because we would have to take a loan out and there's no cash flow for it, and it's a gamble. There might not even be a payout for us in the game. Now, as I was saying, we're not going to worry too much about falling on the baby, getting the baby, because we can only have 3, limited to 3, so there's no real reason to stress out about that, and we're not going to worry about this too much. Now, it doesn't mean that we will be blind to it, but we're not going to worry about it. We'll buy this, and as you know, lately, if you've been watching other videos, really have only been taking advantage of stock that's priced at $5 and lower. But we'll buy $100 worth at $10, and we're just looking to sell that as fast as possible to make any profit out of it. We're going to pass on that. We're just going to go $10 and lower for this game. If the game stays relatively similar to this right now, and we're going to buy that up. Actually, we're going to do 80 shares. And what I mean by that is if our cash on hand keeps mounting, we're not really getting any good deal opportunities in the beginning that's draining our cash reserves, then I'm probably going to pay this off because it's a guarantee. I paid this $1,000. It's not that big of a deal. If I have like 5 to 10 in the bank, and then it will give me a little bit of a bump, and I just won't have to worry about it. It's not too much to pay off. Maybe it's like a 5% return on investment, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. So we had to pay some bill there. I didn't even really pay attention, to be honest with you. I don't know what type of bill it was. I just paid it because ultimately it's really not that big of a deal. It's a small deal. What do we got? A friend needs quick cash. No. So I was just going to say, once we get past this other payday, and if we don't have any real action happen, we're going to pay that off. Oh, we got something though. That brings us down to 4. So we'll hold off on paying that $1,000 off right now. It's not a big deal. Maybe we'll get some. Perfect. This is what we want. That's great. Now see, we have 3-2 houses filled up here. Might have some customers. Hold on. False alarm on the customers. If you don't know this, when you see this background here, I'm at the mini mart that I solopreneur until I find someone to take it over. Whether they're going to solopreneur it or not, who knows. But anyways, so there's a false alarm on the customers, and now we're full with 3-2 houses here, which is a perfect way to be. I don't think we need to load up on any more stock unless we can get stock at like $1. There's no point really to buy it because we have these assets to flip, and we already have some stock right there. So we won't pay too much attention to the stock unless something changes. Like this, like what could I see changing? Maybe we sell off these houses and where we do big deals for a little while, but it's not enough to get us out of the rat race. We have to go back to the small deals. Thank you. I appreciate that. My baby is healthy, wealthy, and wise. So sometimes we might have to go back to the small deals and do some stock. But if things go the way that I think they're going to go, we're pretty much done in the paper assets of this game. MYT for you. Yeah, let's just sell it. So we paid $400, double the money real fast, just to get out of there. Exit that so we're not worried about it. Because what will happen is sooner or later. Okay, now let's watch what happens here. Reverse split. 1 for 2. That's what we have. Okay for you. So what happens when watch right here? Watch what happens to the shares when we click here. Bam. Got cut in half. That's why we want to cash out of the stocks relatively quickly sometimes. But all the assets, you could have someone, inflation rises, you lose your houses, tenant doesn't pay, you have some issue with that. So like I said, we're avoiding stock, and you know what? Let's just repay that $1,000. Let's just repay it because it's easy for us to do. Guaranteed gives us $50 extra a month. Not that big of a deal. And roll again. Still in the small deals. Start a part-time company. Okay, let's do it. Maybe we'll get some type of card that will, our company will be flourishing, will increase our passive income. Maybe we'll be able to sell it later. Right now it's kind of this load up stage. I know we're getting ready to have a card to sell these houses. It's coming up. I know it's coming up. Still in the small deals. We'll sell that, make $200. Great, cash out of that. Now we don't have to worry or be concerned with any stocks. And we possibly will consider buying stock if we can get it for $1. And it also depends on if we're in the big deals. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of this investing and business things, it's not really set in stone, and there's a lot of fluctuation depending on different things that might happen. So it's good to be flexible. You know what you want. I knew this was coming up. Okay, 90,000. So if we sell this one, we get a bump of 40,000. Sell this one, we get 747. Sell this one, 43. So now we're in the big deals. And generally, when I do this, I end up getting out of the rat race relatively quickly. So, for example, we got enough to really play in the big deals. That's more than half of what we need. Just buy it up. Why not? We're pretty much out of the rat race. I think this game is pretty much in the bag now. Like I was saying, in business and investing, things can change. Flex buyer, 40,000. Let's see what we could get. Actually, yeah. The car wash, 17,000. Why not? It's only 140. Boom. We got a big amount of money to be buying deals, buying big deals. So the flexibility. It's good to have what you want to get, and then it's really good to be flexible on how exactly, we are right there, how exactly you're going to get it, and yeah, just basically how you're going to get it, because things can change. This is putting us out of the rat race right here. Now let's see if we can land on a gift of faith. For example, at a time I was heavily into the e-cig industry, but I could see the writing on the walls that the laws and the regulations were going to be changing. So I worked on getting out of that, and I'm pretty much out of it now. So if I have my goal, which is I want to make a certain amount of money, I want to live a certain lifestyle, all those type of things, I can stick with that. But if I stay flexible as to what type of business, all this type of thing, then when laws change, when demographics change, when anything changes that can affect the system, the how-to, the strategy that you're using to achieve your goal, then you're flexible and go with it. Now, can you imagine if I would not have been flexible in my goal and I really thought that like e-cigs was the only way I could make it? I'd be devastated. How would I go? Because the e-cig world is changing so much that a lot of these smaller shops and smaller retailers, smaller companies that were making bank at one time in the e-cig world, I don't think they're doing it anymore, or it's becoming more and harder, somewhere along those lines. And like I said, I don't even really know, I don't really pay attention because I'm pretty much out of it now. And I'm thankful for that because I'm having a lot of excitement pursuing my goal still, but in different how-to. Which part of it is making videos for you guys. And what's going to happen here? Now, in this part, it's usually, anytime I've went bankrupt playing this game, has been inside of the rat race. So I don't even know if you can go bankrupt outside on the fast track. It's really pretty easy, to be honest with you, out on the fast track, at least playing solo like this. Maybe it's a little more difficult. Oh! I lost half my cash. You know what? This game is going to have to go into video 2, so let's stop it right here. We'll go into video 2.